here again, we find ourselves traveling the world. This time, I'm in a very, very interesting location. It's a location that I've wanted to see for a long time. Home of the world's fastest roller coaster, home of the world's tallest building, home of the world's biggest mall, and home of the world's biggest and best everything else. Welcome to the United Arab Emirates. Finally made it to the United Arab Emirates. I've wanted to see the city of Dubai for really as long as I can remember.
Dubai kind of reminds me of a sports phrase. There's a phrase that the coaches would say when they see players loafing, they're playing a little lazy, and it's a curse word, so excuse me for that, but they tell the players to stop half-assing it. Either do it 100% or don't do it all. Dubai is definitely a city that does not half-ass it. There are no half measures here. When they choose to build an airport, when they choose to build a mall, when they choose to build a roller coaster, it isn't just your cookie cutter, run-of-the-mill standard. It's got to be the best. That's what I think attracts so many people to this part of the world, is they want to come here and see what all of this money has bought. And having seen some of it already, I can tell you that it is very, very impressive.
It's a country, it's a place in the middle of the desert next to the Persian Gulf that 25, 30 years ago wasn't really anything, and now it's exploded. I am here in July, which probably is a bad idea given the fact that today's 114 degrees, tomorrow's 115 degrees, but you get used to it. Obviously, I'm very excited to get going, very excited to see the sights. So with that, let's get at it. In terms of famous sites in Dubai, it doesn't get much more famous than the Burj Al Arab Hotel, the unofficial first and only 7-star hotel. Now, 7-star is not an official designation. What you can't really tell by looking at it is just how big it is. At one point, the Burj Al Arab Hotel was the tallest hotel in the world. Where I am right now is the Sukhum Beach, which is nice because it's one of the few free public beaches here in Dubai. The sand is pretty fine, and it's right up against the Persian Gulf. This gives you that famous shot, obviously, of the Burj Al Arab against the Persian Gulf. The fact that it's on that artificial island makes it stand out a little bit more. The design, as you can see, was meant to mimic that of a sail on a sailboat. The good thing about the Burj Al Arab experience is that you can come by to the public beach. I would say come here around, if you're coming in the summer, I would come here around 6, 7 o'clock at night, and you get to enjoy the sunset. You get that iconic sunset shot with the Burj Al Arab on the beach in the background. It's probably, along with the Burj Khalifa, the most well-known landmark here. Just chill out on the beach and enjoy a wonderful and beautiful landmark, and enjoy what is possibly the most famous hotel in the world. Already established that the Burj Al Arab is essentially the top dog in Dubai when it comes to attractions. The question is, can you go inside? The answer, although complicated, is yes, you can go inside. And we're going to go through those options right now. The first, and probably the most obvious, is just to book a suite here. The cheapest suites in here will probably cost you $1,000, if not $2,000, $3,000 if you want to stay here. So if you're like most normal people and that's not in your budget, all hope is not lost. You actually have a few other options. The most feasible and probably the most logical option, if you want to go in and experience the Burj Al Arab and not have it cost you an arm and a leg, is actually make a reservation with one of the restaurants on the inside.
or one of the bars on the inside. Even the dinner or the drink that you take here will probably be massively overpriced. So one reservation I was looking into before I came looked like for a dinner here, a buffet, it was around €200 for one dinner, for one seat. One thing to keep in mind if you do that option though is you need to plan in advance. I would suggest if not a month, if not a few months, or at least weeks before you come to Dubai, to explore those reservations, see if you can book one, and you can just do that on their website. If you go to the Burj Al Arab's website, the restaurants and bars are located there, and from there you can make a reservation. If you don't want to stay in the hotel, if you don't want to make a reservation to eat at the hotel or have a drink inside the hotel, you do have one last option. You can come up close to where the hotel entrance begins. What I did is actually just wander in here and ask the guards politely if it'd be possible for me to kind of come up and to take a more unobstructed picture and video of the hotel. I asked nicely and just said, that'd be great if I can do it, if not, no big deal. And they said, yeah, sure, come on in. And so they allowed me to kind of go further up here. I'm actually past one of the checkpoints and have a pretty nice view of the hotel. You can kind of get a very cool unobstructed shot of the hotel, a shot you wouldn't get otherwise since there are several checkpoints you have to come past. So voila, those are your options. One thing I did want to mention when you're photographing the Burj Al Arab at night is it's critical to bring a tripod. Obviously during the day with the light, it's not going to be as big of an issue, but what's so neat about this place is that it lights up at night. When I was on the beach, it started in purple, it's gone back to purple, and we've seen it go from purple to red to yellow. Make sure you bring a tripod so those shots don't look blurry. Looking at is the tallest building in the world. The Burj Khalifa has essentially a laundry list of records. This thing was built with the Guinness Book of World Records in mind, apparently, because not only is it the tallest building in the world, tallest freestanding structure in the world, it has the highest occupied floor in the world, highest number of stories in the world, highest outdoor observation deck in the world, the elevator with the longest travel distance in the world, and also the tallest service elevator. The tip of the Burj Khalifa can be seen from up to 95 kilometers away. So that gives you an idea of just how huge this thing is. What you can do is buy a ticket and actually go up to that highest observation point and get a beautiful look of the entire Dubai skyline out into the Persian Gulf. They make it a really cool experience there too. So when you get into this elevator, they play this light show. They give you a history of the building, how it was commissioned, how it was built. You get the sense of just how tall this thing is when you go up to this observation deck, and you can look out and see what seems like you can look out forever. In many ways, the Burj Khalifa signifies what Dubai is. Towering, imposing, impressive, emerging, opulent, and an incredible place to see and an incredible place to explore. So if you're coming to downtown Dubai, make sure you visit the Burj Khalifa. Frankly, if you're here, it's going to be hard to miss since you can see it from pretty much anywhere. But come up and get a closer look, even go inside, go up to the observation deck, because it will be an absolute stunning view. Despite the fact that the Burj Khalifa is the tallest building in the world, it actually won't be for long. Another building right here in Dubai will officially take over as the tallest building in the world. It's called the Dubai Creek Tower. If you go inside the Dubai Mall, you can actually view a model of what the Dubai Creek Tower will look like. Very similar to the Burj Khalifa, it's got a wider base and kind of goes up a little skinnier as you go high, but it's actually part of this really exciting development for this entire courtyard that the city is putting together. Will be taller than the Burj Khalifa. So the title of world's largest building actually won't last for very long. The Dubai Creek Tower will be built in the year 2020. which gives the Khalifa just a few more years to be the largest building in the world. So come and see it while it still has that title.
Dubai Fountain is one of the largest outdoor water shows in the entire world. The show itself doesn't last very long, but it's spectacular. There are hundreds of thousands of gallons of water shot up, moved around. In terms of how you can get a good spot to view the Dubai fountains, there are outdoor walkways all along the Dubai Mall outside the Burj Khalifa. And there's a specific bridge that crosses to the Dubai Mall. Right outside there is probably the best spot. The fountains themselves are some of the most powerful in the world. After the fountain shows, when they play the music, they actually do a light show on the Burj Khalifa. The entire building lights up, or they'll flash logos and put music on the Burj Khalifa, the building itself. So you kind of get two shows in one. You get the Dubai Fountain Show, which is terrific, but you also get a light show on the world's tallest building.
If you want to catch the Dubai Fountain Show, it's not that hard. Shows run about every half hour after 6 o'clock. You might want to check the times to see if they differ on weekends. I think they start a little bit earlier and go a little later on the weekends, but if you're in the downtown Dubai area and you only have time during the day, they also play during the day on some days too. So today is Thursday, and there was a 1 o'clock show, 1:30 show, and I believe that there's a 2 o'clock show as well. Now these shows aren't very long. They only last about 3 to 5 minutes, but they're impressive, and you get to see how high the fountains go and really marvel at the beauty of it. If you've been to the fountain show like at the Bellagio, it's a lot like that, only that there are a lot more fountains and the water shoots up a lot higher. It's free as well. You don't need to buy a ticket. If anyone tries to sell you a ticket, make sure you don't buy it. The Dubai Fountain Show is absolutely free and available for anyone to enjoy.
Quite a distance from the ultra-modern skyscrapers, the chic shopping malls, rests this area where I'm at right now, which is considered old Dubai. I'm in the Al Fahid district, going around and looking at the remains of what Dubai was like back in the day. And what's so cool and special about this place is that you take a step into this neighborhood and it's like going into a time machine. This whole area has a charm and a history. In the middle of the Al Fahid district, you'll find the souk, or the Arab market. You can go and check out the mosque. There's also the Dubai Museum, which is located in this area where you can go in and find out a lot more about historic Dubai. A lot of people think of Dubai and they just imagine the Burj Al Arab, the Dubai Mall, Why this area I think is nice is because it gives you the more classic or more historic viewpoint of what this area was really like. There's an area where you can go and see part of the old Dubai wall that's still standing. They have it roped off, but you can go there and see the wall of old Dubai, as well as check out the museums, check out the souk, as well the market where you can buy things like carpet, and come and enjoy it because it's a beautiful spot.
Some say Dubai is the city of excess and opulence. And to that point I present Exhibit A, the Dubai Mall. Take the biggest mall you've ever been in, and now imagine that mall times 2, times 3, times 4, times 5? It's likely that your biggest mall you've ever been in times 5 still isn't as big as the Dubai Mall. The Dubai Mall is the biggest mall in the world. Within the walls of the Dubai Mall, you have the following. An indoor ice skating rink, one of the biggest in the world. An indoor waterfall, one of the biggest in the world. Movie theaters, restaurants, shops, shows, and all types of entertainment. And I go into the mall and immediately recognize some brands. I'm talking about Five Guys, Texas Roadhouse, Shake Shack, Cheesecake Factory. There's even an IHOP. Aside from having its own indoor ice skating rink and waterfall, the Dubai Mall is also home to the world's largest indoor aquarium. This spot of downtown Dubai really is a special place when you consider the world's largest mall is adjacent to the world's largest outdoor fountain show, flanked by the world's tallest building. Downtown Dubai makes Dubai one of the world's most unique cities. For those of you who are adrenaline junkies, make sure you visit Ferrari World. In terms of getting here to Ferrari World, it's just a short taxi ride. If you're staying in Dubai, you grab a taxi, ride in it for about an hour, and then you'll be here in Ferrari World. If you're staying here in Abu Dhabi, obviously it's just a short taxi ride. Ferrari World is home to the Formula Rossa, the world's fastest roller coaster. And if you have the courage, if you have the strength, strap in and get into the Formula Rossa because it is the fastest, most extreme roller coaster that you will ever ride.
Okay, so just survived. Oh my goodness, that's a speed unlike anything I've ever felt. Incredible rush. Can't lie, there was a part near the end where the blood was rushing from my head, holding on for dear life, literally. I didn't want to be that embarrassing guy who passes out on the dang roller coaster. But my goodness. After having experienced that Formula Rossa roller coaster, my head is still spinning. It's the most impressive roller coaster I've ever been on in my life. That start just shoots you out and you just keep picking up speed, and it is just so smooth, so amazing. There is a really, really cool showroom in which you can go and see all these Ferrari models that are on display. A really, really nice showroom. And if you are a car person, if you love cars, if you love speeds, particularly Ferrari, then I'm sure will get a kick out of that showroom. It's not expensive to come here. It's only around 300 dirham to go and do everything in the park. And there's a lot of cool stuff to see, a lot of cool stuff to do. And if you feel like lighting your hair on fire, you can ride the Formula Rossa as well. Come to Abu Dhabi, and when you are in Abu Dhabi, don't miss Ferrari World. A lot of it is indoors. You'll be cool, you'll be comfortable, and you'll have a blast.
the Burj Al Arab in Dubai is the 7-star hotel, what does that make the Emirates Palace? Here we are in front of the Emirates Palace, the marquee hotel in Abu Dhabi. And first impressions are pretty impressive. You look at this place and the first thing you're impressed with is its size. It's not very tall, but it's wide. The Emirates Palace incorporates several different courtyards. You go on the inside and the first thing you're greeted with is walls of awards that the hotel has won. Everything about this place just oozes class and charm. It's also, like most things in this region, ridiculously opulent, maybe over the top. You go in there, there's live music playing, there are golden chandeliers, and then you go in and you look up and you see the floors, how they're staggered. All lined in gold with chandeliers, fine marble. If you're going to outline some of the most well-known sites in Abu Dhabi, the Emirates Palace may very well be at the top of that list. Not only for its beauty, but for its charm as well. So if you are making time to come to Abu Dhabi, come inside the Emirates Palace. Unlike the Burj Al Arab, it's absolutely accessible. You can walk all the way in, enjoy a drink at the restaurant or some food. It's not closed off, and it's surprisingly accessible for anyone who wants to go in.
Perhaps more than any other hotel in Abu Dhabi, the Emirates Palace has its own unique feel and charm. Just right here in the lobby, they have live musicians playing on the flute and piano, and it really sets the mood when you come in, just the lobby. You immediately come in and are struck just with the beauty. And the Emirates Palace is huge as well. This is a massive building. One of the coolest things is just coming right here in the lobby and listening to one of these musical performances. They have a little restaurant there as well. You can get a drink, get something to eat, and just sit and literally enjoy the ambiance. This is probably the most impressive hotel lobby experience that I've ever seen. The Emirates Palace is the cream of the crop when it comes to hotels, not only in Abu Dhabi, not only in the UAE, but maybe in the entire Middle East, if not the world. It's an outstanding place, and if you have any time in Abu Dhabi, make sure you put the Emirates Palace on your list because it's so beautiful and it warrants your attention.
The Sheikh Zayed Grand Mosque of Abu Dhabi. In many ways, this mosque is the crown jewel of Abu Dhabi attractions. So this courtyard behind me, it's 70,000 square meters, which actually holds the record as the largest mural in the world. Because if you look closely at the courtyard, you'll see the flower design. All of this entire courtyard is technically one mural. If you look around, you will notice the number of domes. There's essentially a dome everywhere you look. In total, there are 82 domes in the entire mosque. So obviously some are larger than others. There are the main domes in the back of the mosque you see. But you'll see the smaller domes that just surround the mosque in every area that you go. The Sheikh Zayed Grand Mosque is not only the largest mosque here in Abu Dhabi, but it's the largest mosque in the entire United Arab Emirates. Having traveled a little bit and seen a lot of the great mosques in the world, especially in Istanbul, I didn't really think that I would see one that would be better than, say, the Blue Mosque or the Mosque of Suleiman the Magnificent in Istanbul. Those are such beautiful buildings and they're so impressive to look at. However, now that I'm here and I see how beautiful and terrific the Sheikh Zayed Grand Mosque is, I think I have to all but admit that this is the most beautiful mosque that I've ever seen.
when you're in here, you're just blown away by the white. It stands out, and it's so pretty. Like all mosques, in order to get in, you need to be in appropriate garb, appropriate clothing. So for gentlemen, that means covering your knees, wearing pants should do it. You remove your shoes. Ladies have to cover their heads. And even if you forget, if you wear shorts or you don't have the equipment necessary, they can probably help you out here. You can rent clothing to be dressed more appropriately. But more important than the clothing you wear is your behavior. It's important to show proper, obviously, respect and a decorum when you are in a mosque. So that means obviously respecting the times when people are here worshiping, not being loud, annoying, not bringing in food, or just generally being annoying.
One thing I haven't mentioned yet is how impressive this mosque is on the inside. Once you get into the mosque, you get your shoes off, you can walk around the courtyard. And then towards the base, where you see the big domes, you get to go inside the mosque. When you go in, you see that big carpet, and then you see this stunning collection of chandeliers. There are 3 massive colored chandeliers that are lit up, and you can't miss them. You go inside, you see the art on the wall, the Arabic writing, the chandeliers, and the air conditioning, which is nice also in July. But the cool air aside, you go in there and you see the carpet, you see the chandeliers, and it's stunning. It's very beautiful. It's beautiful with the carpet, the largest, heaviest carpet in the world. Make sure you go inside and appreciate those things because they are outstanding.
On the drive here, when you approach the mosque, it just jumps out from the road, and it looks very, very large, even from a great distance away. So when you get here and you get closer, you can kind of just appreciate it and see the size. If coming to Abu Dhabi is something that you plan on doing, do not miss the Sheikh Zayed Grand Mosque. It is in a city with a lot of interesting things to look at, and in a country with a lot of awesome attractions, near the top of the list in terms of sites that will blow you away. Come and appreciate its beauty because it is terrific. And like all mosques, it's free and open to the public, so you've got no excuse. Come here and enjoy the Sheikh Zayed Grand Mosque.
فإذا قضيت الصلاة فانتشروا في الأرض وابتغوا من فضل الله واذكروا الله كثيرا لعلكم تفلحون. الله